the good thing here is that with Blender sculpting I now have an end goal to reach, and that is doing Yan sculpts things, and I don't have to do it in 5 minutes. That's not my concern, but being able to do whatever this guy is doing in such an amazing way. Good evening, welcome back to In the Khud. This is 20th April 2023, 7:12 p.m. and I'm seeing a very nice render here. It's kind of fancy, right? Just use one area light at the top and one fill light over here, which has like an orange color to it as well. But I am going to primarily show what I've done today. So you see this cloth thing here? This is what I primarily did, and I've probably overdone it because it looks almost like the look that we're trying to go for here is that of office look, and it's almost as if she's come to office without ironing her coat, which is kind of weird. And this part is fine, but this I have overdone it a bit, but no worries. I am going to show you how something that I've figured out. I don't know if I'll be able to like recreate the whole thing, but I'll try to show how much ever I can. Okay, let's start with a cube, and we're gonna imagine that there is in fact, could I take the base mesh just in case? Okay, we've gotten the base mesh. So now cursor is selected, selection to cursor, and edit mode. I'm gonna scale the whole thing down. So I'm gonna try to make clothes for her now. We're gonna delete these. We're gonna come in here, add a mirror and check clipping G4. Yep. Okay. Into edit mode and have this snap over here. Select these and extrude it up. Extrude it up again, scale it. Is it 3D cursor? So individual origins, scale it down like this, scale it in Y a bit, add 3 loop cuts. For the arm, I'm going to select these 2 faces, extrude, bring it here, scale it down, to move it a bit. Say here, we're going to take our loop tools. It's an add-on you have to enable, and say circle, scale it down. Okay, and I think this does it. Okay, let's imagine this is your t-shirt. Okay, I'm gonna come in here. Importantly, what we need is a lot of geometry. So I'm gonna come in here and say Control 4 to add quite some geometry here. Now we're gonna come in and we don't have to apply it, it's not needed. Come into the sculpt mode here. The 2 important things that I've learned is, one is obviously the pose brush, which you can use for making like folds on the shirt. So what I'm gonna do is primarily I'm gonna work with face sets. So over here you see something called as draw face sets. I'm gonna bring it down here and draw face sets here. Now one thing which I figured out of a lot of trial and error is that you come into brush here. There are 2 places where you have to enable face sets. One is over here, masks and face set. If this is disabled, you won't be seeing your face sets. Okay, and if that is also not working, come in here and you enable face set. Okay, this you have to enable face set and mesh boundary for the pose brush to work. Okay, so you hold control and then you can expand the selection like clone stamp tool almost. Let's say I've done this as a face set. Now I'm going to come in here and take my pose brush, and with the pose brush you have your tool settings. Over here you're going to change geometry to cloth simulation, allows you to do cloth simulation. You can rotate, twist, everything from topology, where I'm going to check face sets. So this will allow me to do something like this. I think the problem is we don't have a lot of geometry. So if we apply this and then go into sculpt mode, yeah, so now you see, why is it breaking apart like this? It's nice though. If I just do something like this, you see that it looks like a realistic cloth of sorts. It's like a cloth simulation, and I can come in here, select this one and say delete. So that's like a we still have mirror, right? So I can take proportional editing and kind of like close this jacket. Not bad, but can probably do better. I don't know why the whole thing moves. Okay, I think that's where this thing comes in. So you have brush and face set, mesh boundary, and topology. Yeah, this is something I was talking about in the beginning, where you have to enable these things to make sure the rest of the mesh is not getting affected. And if you think about it this way, it's actually pretty simple to make cloth folds and stuff. And I was like struggling for a long time. I was trying to make simulations and they don't really work, you know that. So I can come in here and it's looking kind of weird. So I can use the inflate tool with X symmetry and just deflate this. Okay, that's not working yet. Okay, so yeah, you get the point. What I'm trying to tell here is the fact that you can use something like very simple like this and obviously play around with things and you get folds like a cloth simulation thing would. The reason this is something I had to figure out, kept this thing on. The reason I had to do it this way is because usually people make folds and stuff on the mesh by using the draw sharp brush. So what they do is they come in here and take draw sharp and with like a stronger brush they just make those creases here, folds and creases like this. But again, this is a very, I think, artistic way of doing things and I don't quite like artistic ways. Like this simulation thing works better for me to make clothes. So basically the majority of the thing that I understood today was this, and I'm just gonna delete this. Now this character I've been working on since yesterday. I think this is coming along pretty well, but as I said, here we don't really need to do the folds and everything to this extent because it's looking a bit problematic. I mean, if this is an office attire, she should probably have it pressed and ironed. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I've learned today, and quite a few things. Now towards the end I did 2 edits. Finally broke, I woke up at 3:45 today, so 6:49 I'm writing down. Finally broke the troubling trend of tired mornings and not being able to do anything. Turns out the key is to never snooze, just wake up by max 3:30. This makes sense even scientifically because when you snooze, the sleep cycle, which should normally last for about 90 minutes, doesn't happen. The sleep cycle lasts for 1.5 hours, doesn't happen otherwise. ITK improvements I did not do. I had to add date to the thumbnails. I'll probably do that over the weekend. Understanding topology in maps, CG boost. I spent a lot of time watching a few CG boost videos from the course and I really need to follow along that course word to word almost, and like just make whatever is in that course because there's so much to learn from it. Then continue working character design. This is something I did throughout. Upload episodes, I did not do this. Yeah, because I'm pressing G1 and G1 is doing that entire Notion thing in it, right? So my G1, G2 for OBS is kind of messing up with G1, G2 in Notion. I have to probably do something about that. Course focus on making clothes with box modeling, adding color, and then spend a lot of time trying to figure simulation brushes. Now switching to some edits. I did like 1 edit for the full time, so I have to do 1 more tomorrow. And that is pretty much it. I don't think there's anything more that I have to document here. As far as progress on the character design is concerned, I'm doing pretty great, to the point that I actually watched just now, there was a video uploaded by Jan Sculpts. This video,
I'm gonna start with
how I sculpt a character in 5 minutes, and I really feel like I want to follow along this course because I'm currently at this stage in my Blender sculpting journey where I understand each and everything that he's doing, and with this, if I don't follow along and just try, like he's showing things very fast here, but I can take my time and just get things like how he's saying here. If I can even get a version of this right and just try getting as many characters out as possible, just practice, there will be a point where I can just make base meshes and sculpt characters like these by myself without having to rely on royalty free characters and stuff, and that is the end goal. So the good thing here is that with Blender sculpting I now have an end goal to reach, and that is doing Jan Sculpts things, and I don't have to do it in 5 minutes, that's not my concern, but being able to do whatever this guy is doing in such an amazing way. So that's my goal now. And on that note, I would like to end today's documentation session. Thanks so much for being in the Khud. I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.